Hey, how you doing?
Hey Ryan, how's life treating you?
Oh, it's treating me well. Hope you're doing well.
Yes, I am. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Well, considering we've only got 15 minutes, we better crack on because I know
Yeah.
you're a busy man. Um, I'll start off with something pretty intense actually, and then hopefully we'll get a bit easier. I kind of got the impression from going through your X account that you're a little bit distraught that your son said a car from the 1900s was an old car.
I
And
know.
then, and then you traded in your Tesla. So how did he feel about that?
Yeah, I said I'll show you, and I traded it in for a 1920 Ford Model T. No, I just no, I just we were just driving down the road and there was some old Toyota and he's like, "Oh man, that thing looks like it's from the 1900s." And I'm like, "I'm from the 1900s." And it's like so I've always said me and my wife have talked. I mean, I'm not even like I'm not going to pretend I'm old, but I was born in 1990 and I always tell people, in the 2040s, they're going to look at me like I looked at people that would have been born in like the 1890s.
Yeah, yeah,
It'll be,
yeah.
but
Well, it's 2025, so like you look at like sports people who've been around for ages, and they're like 24, and you're like, oh wow, okay, like still born
yeah, that's,
born in the 2000s.
we're closer to 2050 now than we are to 2000.
Yeah, that's
That's
crazy.
depressing.
All right, so now we've had that little bit of fun out there. Obviously, you've got a new album coming out on August 1st, Lonely God. You will be
Hmm.
touring Australia as well in January with the Plot in You. Um, when we spoke 3 years ago for the Hell We Create album launch, and lyrically that album was very obviously it was very personal to you in regards to um, I mean, one of the songs you wrote from the viewpoint of your adopted children. There was obviously the stuff that was going on with your wife at the time.
Yeah.
Moving to this album 3 years later, um, the information that we've got is that the five of you has actually put your hands into to doing the music. So did you take a step back then from doing the lyrics? And then when you did, do you feel kind of um, uh, that when you did do the lyrics, you could go even deeper again?
I think so. And I mean, I think I did just as much work lyrically this time because we wrote 15 songs
Okay.
versus 10. Three of them are just not released yet.
Oh, okay. I'm just counting.
They'll come out at later times, and they're not like the duds of the record. They're like one of them was going to be a single, but we decided we wanted it to have its own moment later on in the cycle. Um, so I think I almost needed people to come in and be like, "Hey guys, I need some help." Like if you want, like you said, it let me stay fresh with the lyrics. Because if I had to do all 15 with no input, I would have, my brain already felt like mush at the end of the CEO session because there's only so many words you can use.
Yeah.
Um, but everybody was way more involved. I basically just said, "Hey, the door's open. If you write a cool vocal part, it can go on the song. Like if I think it's cool, I'm not gonna push back or be prideful. It doesn't have to be all me. Like if you have something meaningful you want to say, then I also want it to be on the in the lyrics. But I also got more involved with like the instrumental and production side of things. And I think it was cool because everyone in the band didn't just like do one thing. Everybody was very involved in every aspect of the record.
Yeah. Cool. I mean, talking about the music there. I mean, sonically, it seems a much darker album than what the hell we create does. I mean, my failed maths, so my maths might be wrong, but I only picked out one song that you could potentially call a ballad, which is
Yeah.
Between Us. Otherwise, it's a very yeah, so it's a very it almost sounds like a very angry album. Like, I mean, certainly the song like No Tomorrow that came across as a really like a monster breaking out of hell sort of thing, sort of track. So was that a conscious effort to go from the style of how we create to a darker theme?
I think a large reason it turned out that way is because we were in the studio during the American presidential election.
Oh, geez,
So
okay.
it's like everything was just constant, like social media, everything, the TV, it was always gloom and doom and awful. And I mean, even the world, even though you aren't living in America, everybody sees all the BS happening in America, and it's just a train wreck at all times. Our politics are like a TV show
Yes.
almost. It's and it's always been that way. It's just getting worse.
I,
So
I saw your X piece about the UFC being and
yeah,
going,
I was
not
like, this is
comment
like
on
idiocracy
idiocracy.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's literally becoming idiocracy. The fact that we have a UFC fight happening on the White House lawn is absurd, but that's a whole other subject matter.
Well, this is water, not Gatorade, which
Yeah,
is
we're not too far off from like everybody having like Coke Zero or something in their lawn.
um, the one of the things that was different as well. There's a few things actually quite different. You got a different producer this time as well. You've gone with Daniel Braunstein, who works with Spirit Box. What changes did he bring to the creative process?
So Drew, we love Drew still. I talk to him on a regular basis, and we're gonna write with him again in the future. But Braunstein, he's different because Drew is a just number one hit machine. He has like 20 number ones on rock radio, and he's done Disturbed albums. He did Motionless in White, Ice Nine Kills, all that. But Bronstein is successful in his own right. He's done the Spirit Box record and Dayseeker. But I think the big difference is like Spirit Box isn't a number one rock song type band. They're just an amazing band that writes amazing music. And Bronstein never has really concerned himself with like the number one. It's just a different, it's not wrong or right. Like Drew's just always like, how can I get the biggest hit possible? While Dan is more, how can I get the best version of what you guys want? Even if it, so there are songs that I don't think Drew would have necessarily like encouraged on the new record that Bronstein was all in on just because the ceiling of the song is a little lower.
Yeah,
Songs like Witness the End, where it's not like that would have been a little more like, are we sure we want to go that metal when we were in Drew's studio? But Bronstein's like, this is sick. So it's like just like I said, they're both just different mindsets because I mean, I understand wanting to always push for a hit song because that's the ultimate goal for a lot of bands.
yeah.
So
Well,
I think it was cool having that mindset.
on that, I mean, this is the band's eighth album. I mean, would you cons and like you mentioned there about some bands are this and some bands are that. I'm going to compare it to Led Zeppelin now, which just go with me,
I'll
right?
take that.
Yes,
Yeah.
Led Zeppelin were very much a album band. You know, here's your album, you listen to that rather than here's your singles. Is that what you feel you guys are actually more comfortable being? Being, hey, here's a concept that we've got of 12 tracks. This is about X, Y, Z, in this case, apparently about power and glory, rather than chuck out a couple of singles and then have some of the tracks there.
I think so. I've always and I still do love albums. I love fleshing out ideas and having the full identity of the band painted over a 10 to 15 song album. And I have such a good appreciation for albums that flow well and like
Hmm.
just feel like they're building a world. And singles have such a hard time building a world versus an album, but singles can make your whole career by having one great single. So not that
Yeah.
one is right or one is wrong, but I think I prefer definitely the album approach.
Excellent, excellent. So, I mean, I realized that you recorded another video the other day, or filmed another
Yeah.
video the other day, and you spoke about how the two previous videos, one was a prequel to the other, um, and then you were kind of like teasing what the third one was going to be. I reckon it's Witness the End, by the way, but
Yeah.
it is score. Right, so,
Yeah.
um, I mean, I mean, that song was actually that's quite grandiose. I mean, you touched on that earlier. It's grandiose. There's keyboards in there. It sweeps. Um, is that? those videos, are they part of a visual concept and representation of then what the album is?
Yes. So the whole album itself isn't like a cohesive concept record, but there are like 5 songs that feed into a story. I view it as like Begin the Sacrifice, Lonely God, and the last song, which I can't officially say, I already did, Witness the
Yeah,
End.
I guess the
Um, yeah. They're like the main story.
yeah.
And then songs like No Tomorrow and the Temple, Extinction, Technium all take place in the universe of those 3 worlds and have loose ties to those songs.
Okay.
Um, so it's kind of like the Lord of the Rings approach where there's the main stories and then there's like
Side quests.
the yeah, there's the side quests almost like for people that want to dive deeper. There is more.
Nice.
So
Yeah. Now, we haven't got long to go, so I'm going to tie in this very loosely with your tour in Australia. Because, like Monolith, as an example, right? When I listen to Monolith, if that was written by an Aussie band, an Aussie
yeah.
metal band, this place would like fall apart. Like everybody would love it. It would just like buildings would collapse, everything. And because that was the kind of the vibe
So we
I.
need to play it on the tour with the plot new.
That's
Is what
what
you're
I'm
saying.
saying. I'm just putting it
Yeah,
out
that's it.
there. When you do get here with the plot in you, I mean, I know it's months and months away. Like it's a good half a year away. That's going to be your first time back here for a few years. So are you going to be? Um, it's hard to say, but I mean, is there anything and you're here for 2 weeks as well. So
Yeah.
is that which is really long for an American band to come over for? Is there anything in particular you're looking forward to when you get over here?
I mean, just playing gigantic Australian shows is such a big bucket list thing. I mean, we played really big shows with Alpha Wolf, like shows that have 1,000 people, but the plot and you shows are like, I didn't realize how gigantic they are out in Australia. They've already sold out like 2,500 caps and they're looking at upgrading the venues to even bigger sizes. And so it'll be our first experience playing like truly very large shows out in Australia. And I think that opens the door to us coming back on headliners and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
then the I'm excited to go to the beaches. I know I have friends that are like, I know some beaches that are a little more hidden and not where all the tourists are, stuff like that. So I'm excited. And, you got to go to the koala sanctuary like every other band every time they go.
Standard. Yeah.
Yeah. Go lay down with the kangaroos. Though I
Standard.
feel bad, I ate a kangaroo in 2012 because we stayed at a house in Australia and he's like, I got some kangabangas, if that's what they're called. That's what he said. I don't even know if that's what other people there call them. But not a fan. So kangaroos are
Make
safe.
you
I'm not going to
fart.
eat them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They make you fart a lot. Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway, on that highbrow end to the conversation, because I have had my 15 minutes and I know you're an incredibly busy man. Thank you very much for your time today, Ryan, again. It's been a pleasure speaking to you again.
good
And
talking to you too.
thank you. And I'll see you in January. Tiana, it's all yours.
Yep.
Thank you.